Hi there, everybody. Today I'm not going to hammer you, but today I'm going to do probably 3 videos, and the reason I'm doing that is not to hammer people, or to overexpose you, but it so happens that I'm meeting 3 people who are critical to the project today. And the first one of those is Paul Morton. Now, I was introduced to Paul a few years ago now, probably 2.5 years ago. And in the process, he has become a good friend of mine because I see the value that he has brought to the project and enabling me to get the finance I needed at the various stages. Paul's a finance broker. And so I wanted to ask him a couple of things now that we're here together as the project draws to a close. And so what was the first of those points, Paul? Yeah, so the first one was that this is a commercially funded project. It's not residential funding from the bank. And I just wanted Paul to touch on, perhaps briefly, the differences and the challenges with commercial funding as opposed to just pure residential funding.
Okay, thanks, David. It's been certainly a pleasure to be involved with your project. At PDM, we specialise in commercial finance, which is a lot different just to standard residential finance. Our experience with our company is more the property development, the commercial type finance, and certainly it's a more complex area than just home loan lending. You need to be in tune with the banks, their credit appetite at the time, different market cycles. So it's really understanding our roles to be involved day to day with the banks, the lenders, to understand changing credit culture, which is sometimes driven government, APRA, and getting a head around, credit requirements and the bank's appetite for this type of funding behind us here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair to say that the commercial funding, the requirements from the banks are, it's like riding a bloody wild horse, is what I say. You get to a point where everything's okay and it just rolls on, but up to that point, it's just very, very heavy on what you've got to supply to the banks. And then not just one bank, because initially I think Paul interviewed probably 4 banks just to get an idea of where the market was at that time.
I think it's important over the years, probably showing my age, Dave, but with experience, you might have a developer thinking they know what they're doing, and they'll go and speak to that bank, major bank, for 3 or 4 months about a project. They finally get down to the nitty-gritty with the credit manager, and something left field's come out, and they're told they can't help, or there's material change to the way that deal was being discussed with the bank. So at PDM, what I try to do is to add value, to work with the client, ideally in the infancy stages. When there's site acquisition, we work through initial, the feasibilities, the valuation process is very important to make sure, we get the right result there and it's fully understood what we're dealing with. So that's critical, and we sort of add value in that space as well. But then we put professionally together the package to develop a proposal with client's background, financial assessment of the client. Every transaction is different depending on the financial support or backing of the obligor or the customer. So
builder profile,
all the parts of development. So the client's substance, the builder, reliability and strength of the builder, obviously mitigating the construction risk. All that is part of our due diligence as well here at PDM Property Finance. We put the package together, but then importantly, in the current market we're in, where there's a little bit of uncertainty with credit departments of banks, we then float that transaction in a controlled way to select 2 or 3 lenders to make sure they've got the right intelligence at the time for the client in relation to the financing and how that's a good deal, that's not a good deal, the pricing is reviewed, and then we get the optimum funding outcome for the development.
I think it's fair to say that in the last 2 years there's been a lot of movement in the banking industry and the finance industry. A lot of that was being driven by the massive upsurge in investment loans that were particularly in Melbourne and Sydney, Brisbane to a much lesser extent, and a lot of Chinese players coming into the market as well. What that did was complicate things for projects like this. It gave us a lot of headaches, but more, and just emphasises the criticalness of having a broker who is in touch with what's going on and also knows how to negotiate his way through, on behalf of me, in this case, through the maze that's being thrown up with different bank criteria changing. we had the APRA reforms last year, which was designed to slow down investment funding. We've had almost a cessation or inability for Chinese borrowers to actually borrow money from an Australian bank, and that's caused a lot of problems with settlements, default, and failure to settle on projects. All that, look, a project like this, the things I've really learnt in a fresh way here were that finance, marketing and sales, they're probably the most important things. The stuff I do and have been doing for many years now, of putting projects together and delivering them, that's great and that's important. But if you can't sell the thing, and you can't, then you're up a dry gully. If you can't finance the thing, then you're not going anywhere. And if you can't market it and communicate to the marketplace what you've got, then you've got bugger all chance of really having a lot of fun and getting through the process. And the bank's not going to touch it. At the end of the day, the bank's not going to put their money at risk if they think you're not going to be able to deliver on your projections. What other points there, Paul? So we talked about changing bank policies, and there's been plenty of those, and I'm just very thankful that I've been able to, I've made some classic stuff-ups in giving information too quickly to the bank, and if I slowed down, when I say giving information too quickly, we want to know that the information we're giving is accurate. It's always got to be accurate and truthful, but it can be delivered in such a way that is in accordance with the way the bank is used to seeing that information. And I've made a couple of mistakes there. If I'd gone to Paul and said, hey, here's this information, how should we handle it that's been requested, I would have been straight onto it straight away, and that's the value of a guy like this.
That's right. Generally, having worked for bank for many years internally and now externally with my business, it's understanding how that credit manager is going to review or interpret the information provided.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just the way things are presented. Yeah. And I suppose our experience is to be on top of those, that process and help manage that process. Yeah. It's a smooth the process with loan drawdowns, with getting the initial approvals, and at the end of the day, seeing this come to completion behind us, and it's fair to say that we have had a smooth process, and options with finance initially to that credit process. Yeah. And then the process now with progress scores has been smooth. So I'm always there to supervise and to help those processes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've never felt that in any sense or any time that Paul's done the deal. He was paid a commission presumably at the start and maybe some bits as you go through, but I never felt that, hey, man, he's gone. Where is that bloke? I haven't seen him again. He's not like a salesman who's just taken the money and run. He's been there. We've developed a friendship through this, but most of that's because of the thoroughness of this guy and also the processes. He's an expert, and I'm just very thankful that I've had the chance to be put in contact with such a good guy. Very critical to the process and the project. So thanks, Paul.
Thanks. You, Dave. Yeah.
Paul's first Facebook Live presentation, but he's a good guy, and it's great to be able to share this with him.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks.